Hi, lovely people. My name is Zanara from Quantum Storytelling, and today we're going to talk about the 5 main reasons we cannot really manifest the life we want, we really desire. And as usual, most of the obstacles we come across in our life, they're in plain sight. So let's see and let's investigate a little bit further and deeper what we are missing, what actually stays on our way to our perfect desired life. Obstacle number 1. I personally given the name of a border. This is the border that we live between our internal understanding of what life is and the external world. The internal world is everything what's happening inside our quantum reality, where there is no time, the limitless resources of energy, no time restrictions. It's just vast, endless resources for everything and anything we can think about. Our imagination, our internal screen of endless opportunities and possibilities. But what happened, as we know, we make our life from inside towards the outside. But then the outside world is so-called matrix, where there is time, there is ends and beginning, there are limits, there are restrictions, there are certain type of obstacles. For example, we would like to have more money in our bank account, or we would like to have a better relationship with our partners, but then we don't really see this. So it's the border between internal and external. This is where we meet our dragons because of the time element. Our immediate thoughts, they are not immediately translated into the outside reality. And this is one of the main obstacles. How possibly we could overcome it? It is through meditation, taking at least 10 to 15 minutes on our own, with no technology, no conversations, no TV, no distractions of any sort. So we stay, we sink in, we turn our internal ear to listen to our internal world, to listen to what's happening inside us, and then bring in some internal peace and calmness. And then with practice, we start realizing there is no outside and inside. There is no actual border. We are all one. We are part of the magic. We are part of this world. Obstacle number 2. How to believe in abundance. Have you ever thought how many people actually inherently have lack of faith in abundance? Purely historically, if you look at the world overall, thousands and thousands of years, we've got the majority of people living in lack of freedom, lack of their personal voice to be heard, of their own desires, of their dreams, of their ambitions, lack of resources, lack of energy, lack of money, lack of whatever you can think of. And usually we've got a small amount of people, a handful of people actually, having the power, having the money. And overall, most of the people, generation after generation after generation, we have already seen these limited beliefs of always lacking. Always we have to choose between buy food or buy our bills, or maybe sacrifice something to go on a holiday. So literally in our DNA, we've got the memories from the previous and the previous and the previous generation. So it's required a huge amount of energy for us, and dedication and desire to start believing in abundance. Not only believing with our minds, but also emotionally connecting to the idea of abundance. Just for a second, imagine, as we all know, our income, it could be divided on average the 5 people we spend the most time with. So imagine the people around us every day mention, oh, I just signed a contract for £1 million, or I just have a new client, or I've got 200 new clients, and I'm going to Ibiza, I'm going here, and I'm going there. We are literally rubbing shoulders with abundance and the idea of the abundance. So therefore, our world now believes they're going to automatically start changing. We breathe the same air. We are sharing the same space, the same energy with someone who's talking about abundance, living abundance. But what will happen if the people we spend the most time with, they've got small income and all the time worry about money, and all the time, let's say today is the 5th of the month and there are 25 days left until the end of the month and the money is already gone. What can we do to overcome this obstacle? Start taking actual small steps, it could be big steps, towards changing our environment, changing what we do, changing our perspective, changing our train of thought, changing everything. We need to have a certain goal and keep walking step by step by step, observing all the time ourselves and pattern and model of thinking and acting. Obstacle number 3. It's the routine. And do you know, we are humans, we are people of habits, we love repetition. We are creatures of our habits. We love to know our job, our partner, our own place, and every change in our lives, it puts so much strain on our mind, because how we function, we need to be protected. Our mind, our conscious mind, all the time is looking for ways to save us, to avoid risks, to protect us at all costs, because that's the program of our mind. That's the main function of our mind. But what is happening, let's say we are not happy in our marriage, we are not happy in our job, we are not happy in our place under the sun. We want to make changes. Our mind going to convince us how difficult that is. And while we're still going to the same job where we are unhappy, but we know every single the route to go into our job, we know our colleagues, what's expected from us, and so on and so on. Our mind, so listen now very carefully, doesn't have to spend extra resources, extra energy to learn new things. Every time we change our place or our job or our partner, there is completely new world. A new door opens and everything is new. For our mind, it means it needs to stay alert and needs to invest huge amount of energy to learn everything, because learning the new environment makes our safety, of course, first priority. So while we're learning, we are literally fight, flight, or freeze mode. Okay, because everything new brings danger. So what's happening here? We need to really live on the verge, on the edge between the familiarity, the routine, and the new. One side is good to have repetition of certain things because they brings us more energy. They release more energy for creativity. But at the same time, we need to be very vigilant to make sure that we don't fall into the trap of being bored with our lives, to lose the zest of life. We always need to keep certain percentage of familiarity and certain percent of some sort of novelty, something different, something new, just to keep the balance of being excited by our lives and not being all the time in a fight mode. So therefore we are able to create, to expand, to educate, to do more, to bring more. We get to the point of obstacle number 4. And I've given some kind of a title like transformation. Do you know why? I mean, it's not exactly transformation, but it's part of the obstacle. We humans, as we already know, stated by the quantum physics, the latest discoveries for the last 50, 60 years, we know that we vibrate. So every single millisecond, based on these vibrations, we literally jump from quantum reality to quantum reality to quantum reality with every single choice. And because we're choosing all the time, we are not static. We are not rigid. We are literally sharing multiverse all the time. But at the same time, because as we all know, we've got the mind. And everything goes through the mind. We understand the norm of our normality, of what is real and what is not real, what's safe and what's not safe. It goes through our mind and immediately labels everything so we can navigate through the three-dimensional reality, through the matrix. We need to find certain tangible proofs from the science that, let's say, there are angels, there is good, there is a electromagnetic field, there is ether, there is this thinking space, there is dark matter, and all invisible things that make our mind go bonkers, literally scream of horror, because it's something that's not visible, something that is with no beginning and no end. We cannot really measure it, and because we want to, and our mind want to project and create the norm, we are part of a society from a group of people, and from the ancient times, you know what it means to be part of the group. You need to fit the norm. You cannot explain to people around you, I'm talking to angels, because what will happen? Your small circle of friends, your small tribe, your small village going to outcast you. And outcasting you, it means you won't survive in the wild. Your generation, your children, they're going to suffer that you step outside the norm. So how many people are ready to risk it? So transformation means looking at our understanding of norm, looking at the people who are around us, because we need to find like-minded people. And if it's too tight, if the shoe is too small for our understandings and we want to make changes, we should proceed. We should take actions really to change the shoes, to change the tribe, and to change our idea of what's the norm, because maybe there is a new norm. And finally, obstacle number 5, I call it the Wheel of Fortune from the tarot cards, from the major arcana. So if you think about how everything goes in a circle or spiral, the spiral of life, the circle of life, everything comes and goes. There is the cycle of the day and night, the moon cycles, the tides, everything. We're born and we die. There is a good and bad. It's the world of duality, because on Earth, in a heavy material world, everything is based on duality, on good and bad. We judge. We need the light in order to have the shadow, and we need the shadow in order to have the light. So why people are afraid of success? You know how I just mentioned that everything goes and comes, and that's the wheel. If today is not so good, tomorrow, 1, 2 weeks or 2 months, the wheel will turn, and then the luck will come and the sun will going to shine on our yard. That's the deep understanding that if today we struggle, we're literally in the war zone because we're struggling with our relationship, with depression, on health, in our business, on money, or whatever. deep inside, we're projecting what would be once we're successful. But deep inside, the same way we're born, we walk towards that every day, takes us to, obviously, the end, some sort of end, the material end. We know subconsciously we are afraid of exactly that. That if today we're in a not very favorable position, tomorrow when we are up, we have to expect that sooner or later we have to be down again, because that's how life functions. That's how everything in nature, in the cosmos, in the divine mind actually works. So if you want to strive for big financial gains or towards the light or towards the freedom, we need to be ready that the equal is the light, the lighter, the stronger, the more powerful the light, the more powerful the shadow. That's natural, because this is two sides of the same coin. There is no avoidance. In the three-dimensional world, that's how we function. So deep inside, for so many people, being afraid of success, money, is based on what the future might bring us. Sooner or later, we're going to go down the same wheel. But let me tell you, nobody has taken anything when they left this earthly plane. So what stays with us is actually experiences, the learning curve, ups and downs, all these experience of actually being human, being alive, struggling, or celebrating something amazing and beautiful happened to us. In this case, what we should know is enjoy the journey and don't be afraid to manifest with no fear, and to fully embrace the moment of now, the present. Embrace it, stay happy, and just enjoy this minute. Tomorrow or the next hour, they just don't exist yet. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I'm Zanara from the Quantum Storytelling, and our journey has just begun. I send you love, I send you peace, I send you light.